Okay, welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to have a tutorial on how to use Cursor to create a to-do app. So in the previous video, we did a tutorial using chat. In this video, we're going to use Cursor's Composer. So if you don't have Cursor yet, go ahead and go to cursor.com, click download, and then follow the directions. We'll go ahead and get started by creating a folder. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to create a new folder and we'll just call it To Do Composer. Okay. And then this folder is highlighted, so I can click this button to open it up in Cursor. If you don't have this button, you can watch one of my previous videos in which I have a tutorial on how to create this button. So we'll go ahead and create it, and then bam, we're in Cursor. And of course, we just created the folder. There's no files or anything, and that is fine. To get started, we're gonna hit Command I. Now, by default, Composer opens up down here. I don't really like it being down here, so I'm going to move it to a pane by clicking the three dots here and then open Composer as a pane. So then it comes over here to where our chat is. I just like this position better. You can leave it there if you like, or do this. So we'll just do our simple prompt here. So please create a to-do app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Simple, to the point. We'll go ahead and click Enter. Certainly, I'll create the simple to-do app using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I'll split the code into 3 separate files. Better organization. Here's the implementation. First, let's create the HTML instruction or structure. Now let's create the CSS file to style our to-do. Finally, let's create the JavaScript. This implementation creates a simple to-do app with the following features: add new to-dos, mark to-dos as completed on them, delete to-dos or delete tasks, persist to-dos in local storage. So this time it automatically is doing local storage. And you'll notice another thing with Composer is it's already created the files for us and put the code in there. Now we can look at this and review all the code, or we can go down here and then we can either reject all, save all, reapply, or just go ahead and accept it. So let's just go ahead and accept it. It saves it, and that's it. If you'll notice, the last video was much longer because we had to go through and accept and copy and paste code, or accept or do, there's so much more you could do. Here, it automatically does everything for you. We can literally go ahead, let's open up our to do, and it's here. It's for now. It is using the same URL and it is using local storage. Now, our last video, we used local storage, so it is pulling the local storage from our last from the last build because we are storing that here. So if I open up our code editor here in Chrome by doing Option Command I, and then I go to our local storage here, I can click to see the to-dos here. So it is actually working. So let's create a new task here. So we'll just go new task, and I'll press enter to see if that works. That does work. Now, ironically, there is no checkbox to check it as complete, but you can check just click on the item. So that's preference. We could ask it to add a checkbox, or we could leave it as is. Let's ask to add a checkbox because it's good to be able to know how to do this part too. So please, let's see. Next to each to do. And we'll click submit. Okay, so I've asked it to add that. So it says, certainly I'll modify the HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So it's doing all that. Let's update the JavaScript. Let's do the style, the CSS. These changes will add the checkbox next to the to-do item. And it's always good to read this and make sure it's doing what you ask it, make sure it understood what you want to do. With these modifications, your to-do app will now have the checkboxes next to each item, providing a more intuitive way for users. See, it even logically understands why you would want that. It's just mind blowing. So let's go ahead and click accept all, and let's go back to our app here, and there are the check boxes. So that is awesome. All right, guys. So in our previous video, if you haven't seen that, you want to know how to use the chat feature of Cursor, you can do that. This has been a simple to-do app using Composer in Cursor. And thank you very much. Goodbye.